welcome back to the Sports Perspective TV viewers and subscribers. As always, thank you for tuning in. And if this is your first time coming across the channel or you haven't subscribed to the channel as yet, but you like the content that we're putting out, definitely hit that subscribe button. So we're going to be talking about the warm-up, West Indies warm-up match. The match ended in a draw, but the West Indies in their second innings, there were a few 50s scored. So I'm going to be sharing that with you and also going over the match in its entirety and also talking about the performances in the match. So just stick around to the end of the video while we discuss all of these things, right? So getting straight into it. So the West scores in the match, West Indies, they scored 339 and 196 for 5 declared. The county 11 select, they scored 373 for 4 declared, and they were 30 for 2 at the end of the match, right? So the West Indies in their second innings, like I said, they got to 196 for 5, and leading the way for them was Athanaze and Joshua Dasilva, right? So they both scored half centuries. Athanaze, he scored 66, and Joshua Dasilva, he scored 51 not out in the West Indies second innings, and they were the top scorers for the team in their score of 196 for 5. But also contributing for the West Indies was Mikhail Louis, right? So he scored a half century in the first innings, and here he scored 28 from 48 balls in the second innings. Kirk McKenzie, he scored 17, from 20. So McKenzie got scored 73 in the first innings and 17 in the second innings. So decent batting. Would have loved if he would have scored more runs in the second innings, but a half century that he scored in the first innings was also very good. Jason Holder in the second innings, he scored 18 from 22, batting at number 6, right? So those were the scorers for the West Indies in their second innings. The first class cricket county 11, like I said, they got to 30 for 2 before the match was called off. Taking the wickets for the West Indies was Jeremiah Louis. He's in the team replacing Kemar Roach. He took a wicket, and Lane also took a wicket as well, right? So all in all, I would say a decent performance by the team, especially especially with the bat, right? Scoring 339 in the first innings, with that brilliant century from Kavim Hodge. I would say Kavim Hodge, as you can tell from the scores I just went over about the second innings, he did not bat in the second innings. Obviously, it being a warm-up match and him scoring a century in the first innings, the team gave other batsmen the opportunity to bat, get some time in the middle. So Kavim Hodge didn't bat in the second innings. Neither did captain Craig Brathwaite. So who opened the innings for us was Zachary McCaskey and Mikhail Louis, right? So, most of us expect Louis to open the batting with Craig Brathwaite. So they did put him to open the batting in the second innings, and he scored 28 runs. He did relatively well in the at the top of the order as well, and along with his 50 that he scored batting at number 3 in the first innings. So Mikhail Louis is looking comfortable in English conditions so far, so definitely looking forward to see how he does when he comes up against the England team. Stronger opponents, better bowlers, but so far so good for Mikhail Louis, and definitely hoping that he can continue in his good form, right? I must give a huge shout out though to Athanaze. That's back-to-back half centuries for him. He scored half centuries in both innings, right? And Athanaze was actually one of those batters that I was questioning, going into the England series in general, right? I even did a video saying that he could possibly be replaced by Imlach in the lineup if he doesn't score any runs in these warm-up matches. Based on just his form in recent times, he didn't really score any runs in Australia, and his performance in the West Indies Championship, even though he did score runs in a few innings, it was far from convincing, right? So Athanaze was one that I was looking at as someone who possibly could have been replaced in the West Indies lineup for the first Test match. But after these performances, scoring half centuries in both innings of this warm-up match, there is definitely no way that Athanaze can be replaced. You know, he's shown that, you know, his spot in the team, he deserves a spot, right? And that he can bat in English conditions. So would definitely be surprised if he's not included in the lineup for the first Test match against England. You know, so a huge shout out to Alec Athanaze. You know, when they don't perform, like I always say, when they don't perform, right, we criticize them. So whenever they score runs and do well, we must compliment them as well, right? So huge shout out to Alec Athanaze on his brilliant innings in both innings. Joshua Dasilva, you know, finding some form as well. You know, stepping up. You know, Joshua Dasilva now, he's one of the most experienced batters in the West Indies team now, even though he's been around for a good while now, right? He's still young, but he's been in and around the team, playing for the team for a while now. So we're expecting him to be more consistent with the bat now in his batting. You know, the team is depending on him to score runs and to lead with his experience as well. So it was good to see Joshua Dasilva getting some runs under his belt in this warm-up match as well. So the batters did relatively well. Hodge getting 100, Athanaze getting half centuries, Kirk McKenzie getting a half century in the first innings, and Joshua Dasilva also getting a half century. So from a batting standpoint, I think the team did well. The bowlers, though, bit concerning. You know, the England team will definitely have better batsmen than were in a part of this team that they played, and the bowlers were only able to take 4 wickets in that first innings, right? They started off the second innings better, you know, taking 2 quick wickets, right? But overall, the bowling is a bit of a concern. Obviously, the bowling was missing a Shamar Joseph and maybe even a Gudakesh Moti will come in for the Test match. Who Shamar Joseph, of course, will definitely have an impact on the bowling, right? We know that for sure. And Gudakesh Moti, he's a top quality bowler as well, and has the potential to take wickets. So hopefully, the addition of Shamar Joseph for sure, and if the selectors decide to play good at Keshmoti, and based on this performance, right, I would play good at Keshmoti, you know, based on what I've seen from the bowlers so far. You know, Moti is a wicket taker. You know, whether or not they will play him, we have to wait and see. But after this bowling performance, no, I am thinking that Moti should definitely be in the team, right? But like I said, the match was drawn. The batters did well. Definitely room for improvement from the bowlers. So now let's just see what the selectors decide to do from here. Hopefully Shamar Joseph and Gudakesh Moti are now in England with the team and settling well. And getting ready to play in that first Test match, right? But again, just to recap, the warm-up match was drawn. West Indies in their second innings, they scored 196 for 5 declared, with half centuries from Alec Athanaze and Joshua Dasilva. Alec Athanaze leading the way in terms of runs scored for the team, scoring 2 half centuries in the match, right? So that's all I have for you in this video, viewers and subscribers. You know, as always, thank you for tuning in. Do remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you, and I will see you in the next video.